Carrie Underwood walked onto the View set with the poise of a seasoned performer, dressed in a tailored cream blazer and boots that gave a nod to her country roots. She was there to promote her new album and upcoming tour, but in the back of her mind, she knew the elephant in the room, Joy Behar's comments from the week before, was bound to come up. The first few minutes were lighthearted enough. Whoopi Goldberg asked about life on the road, and Sarah Haynes gushed over Carrie's stage outfits. But as soon as Joy leaned in toward her microphone, the mood shifted. "Carrie," she began with a pointed smile, "last week you posted something on Instagram that a lot of people saw as divisive. Don't you think it's risky for someone with your platform to make statements like that?" The audience reacted with a ripple of murmurs. Carrie tilted her head, her expression calm but unreadable. "Joy, I think it's risky to stay silent about things you believe in," she replied smoothly. "If I believe something's worth saying, I'm going to say it." Joy wasn't satisfied. "But you have millions of fans, including kids," she pressed. "Don't you feel a responsibility to keep certain opinions to yourself for their sake?" That was the moment Carrie's demeanor shifted. She leaned forward, her voice gaining an edge. "I feel a responsibility to be authentic. I'm not here to be a watered-down version of myself so I can make everyone comfortable. My job is to sing and to stand for what I believe in, and if that bothers some people, so be it." A few audience members erupted in applause. Joy raised an eyebrow. "That's a nice way of saying you don't care who you offend." Carrie shot back without missing a beat. "And that's a nice way of saying you think people should only speak if they agree with you." The tension was now thick enough to cut with a knife. Sunny Hostin tried to change the subject, but Carrie wasn't done. She looked directly at Joy and said, "You can call me controversial if you want, but I'd rather be honest than play pretend for daytime TV." The audience gasped. Whoopi, sensing things were spiraling, quickly announced they were going to commercial break. As the cameras cut away, Carrie crossed her arms, while Joy leaned back in her chair with a half smirk, as if silently daring Carrie to continue. It was clear to everyone in the room. This interview had just gone from promo to pop culture powder keg in under 10 minutes, and it was only going to get messier. When the cameras went dark for commercial, the tension didn't. Carrie leaned back in her chair, still visibly bristling, while Joy muttered something under her breath that only those at the table could hear. Multiple crew members later claimed they caught the words, "overdramatic," and "thin-skinned." Carrie's head snapped toward her. "Excuse me, if you've got something to say, you can say it loud enough for everyone to hear," she fired back. Joy, unfazed, crossed her arms and replied, "I just think you're overreacting. This is The View. We debate. If you can't handle that, maybe you're in the wrong place." That's when Carrie's voice dropped low, calm, but ice cold. "Joy, there's a difference between debate and trying to humiliate someone on live TV. And if you think you can bully me into shutting up, you've picked the wrong guest." The crew froze. Whoopi raised her hands in a "let's cool it" gesture, but the damage was done. When the show returned from commercial, Carrie's smile was tight, almost rehearsed, but her eyes said she was still simmering. Joy tried to pivot to a lighter topic, but Carrie answered in short, clipped sentences. The chemistry at the table was gone, replaced by an unspoken standoff that viewers could feel through their screens. By the time the segment wrapped, Carrie was already unhooking her mic. She offered polite goodbyes to Whoopi and Sarah, but didn't look Joy's way as she walked off the stage. The audience, caught between awkward silence and nervous applause, didn't know whether to cheer or just let her go. Within an hour, the moment was all over social media. Clips of the exchange flooded Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram, racking up millions of views. Hashtags like #Carrie claps back and #Joy vs Carrie began trending, with fans fiercely taking sides. Country music fans praised Carrie for standing her ground against mainstream media bias, while others accused her of being too sensitive for a show built on hard questions. Behind the scenes, producers scrambled to control the narrative, releasing a brief statement calling the interview spirited and passionate, but insiders admitted this was one of the most uncomfortable on-air moments in The View's recent history. And according to a source in the green room, Carrie didn't just leave quietly, she left with one last parting shot. As she walked out, she reportedly turned to a crew member and said, "I came here to promote music, not to be someone's punching bag." The fallout was immediate. By mid-afternoon, entertainment blogs, gossip outlets, and mainstream news sites had picked up the clip of Carrie's tense exit. Headlines like, "Carrie Underwood storms off," "The View," after heated exchange with Joy Behar, and Country Queen vs. Daytime Diva, spread like wildfire. Country radio stations jumped into the fray, with several hosts defending Carrie and accusing Joy of goading her. Meanwhile, political commentators on both sides weighed in, with some framing the incident as another example of the View's liberal bias, while others claimed Carrie overreacted to standard tough questioning. Joy Behar, for her part, didn't seem rattled, at least publicly. The very next day on The View, she addressed the situation head-on. "Listen," she said, grinning slightly, "this is a talk show. We talk. If you want nothing but softball questions, there are plenty of other couches you can sit on." Her comment drew applause from part of the studio audience, but plenty of boos and angry tweets from Carrie's fans. Carrie, meanwhile, stayed silent for nearly 48 hours. Then, late in the evening, she posted a single message on X, formerly Twitter. "Greater than, honest conversation is one thing. Public humiliation is another. I stand by my words, and my boundaries." The post racked up over 250,000 likes and was shared tens of thousands of times, sparking fresh waves of debate. Some fans begged her to never go back on that show, while others urged her to show them you're not afraid, by returning and finishing the conversation. Insiders at ABC claimed producers were already trying to book Carrie again to smooth things over, knowing full well a rematch would guarantee blockbuster ratings. But those close to Carrie said she was in no rush to step foot on the View stage again. As one source put it, "Greater than, Carrie's not afraid of tough questions. But if she feels disrespected, she'll walk, and she'll make sure you know why." And just like that, what started as a promo appearance for a new album had turned into one of the year's most viral celebrity showdowns, with no sign of the drama dying down anytime soon.